Yay, happy Earth Day! Let's sit for a moment. Connecting with the solid part of our being, the earth element. Just noting that we are of earth, we're made of earth, we're natural beings. And so, sitting in this tangible material plane, let's take a bow and begin our yoga practice today. Cool. So let's just sit and meditate for a moment. Tapping into the spine. Finding your length. Imagining the spine, how it has these curves, this S curve, and it goes through the center, the midline of the body. So rather than imagining the spine is just something that's on the back, can we feel our connection to this midline, to the center of our being? The spine crosses into the middle. We could also use the image of a tree, imagining the roots of the tree sinking deep into the earth. The bottom base of our being is rooted down, feeling the surface area just sink and merge with the fertile earth. And then the spine extends upward, branches extending towards the sky. Solid. Grounded. Connected to the heavens and the earth below. Feeling a sense of aliveness. Maybe there's even a little bit of a sway, like leaves rustling in the wind. Honoring the earth that we live on, honoring the earth that exists within us. Marveling at the mystery of being alive and the wonders that this planet has to offer. Take a few deep breaths here, rustling your leaves, continuing to root into the earth. Exchanging the air, giving back to the plants and the trees, and absorbing the delicious oxygen that they provide. So good. Feels so good to breathe. letting that go. If your eyes are closed, you can start to blink them open. And we'll set up for our first pose today, which is going to be a Sphinx. And I don't have my normal props with me, but if you've got a bolster, you might want to put it underneath your belly, but a half rolled up blanket is just as good for that. In fact, it might even be better because it's not as high up, but we'll just lower our bellies onto some kind of support, and you can always add or subtract. We're just looking for a little bit of compression in the belly area. Your hands can just relax parallel, or you can put your hands together in a little prayer. And we're still hosting this connection to the earth, feeling the bases of support, feeling our solid, tangible nature. The root chakra, which is actually kind of close to the tail or the perineum, it's the base of our being. It's associated with the earth element. And so we could focus in our lower back area. We could focus on the abdomen, the lower, the gross, tangible parts of our being. Gross like solid and material, not gross like ew, gross. So we can focus on this state. Earth element.
Yes, I laughed earlier.
Thank you. It's so funny. I'm like, I guess I'm just laughing alone, but also that's okay. It's nice to know I'm not just talking to myself. Really focusing on the body here. The skin, the bones, all the meaty parts, the heaviness. This is our connection to all the elements. Feeling our volume. Feeling our connection to each other. Material beings. Sounds like woo-woo, but it's really not woo-woo. We're here and we can feel. We can breathe and touch and stand. It's something that we all share. Connects us. So feeling this interconnected web of the tangible world, space, earth, just like the trees, how they're rhizomatic and how everything is connected underneath the soil. So you can't really see it from the surface, but everything is always in communication with the earth and with each other. So just tuning into that sense here. It's subtle, but it's how I know I'm not just talking to myself. Because we are here. We are here right now. Feel free to separate your arms and come into seal, deepening the back bend, shifting to your own personal preference of sensation, but staying with this sense of connection. Sense of giving and receiving to our world, our weird world. We won't be here for much longer, just staying with this meditation, being the tree, finding your roots, extending your branches towards the heavens. Letting that go. If you're in seal, you can lower back down. If you're in Sphinx, you can just kind of remove whatever's underneath you. And just come onto a flat belly, head in your hands. You can maybe rock the hips side to side. Perhaps you want to come back into a child's pose to counter if that feels good. Just washing off the last pose, feeling the energy shift, the sensations change. And then we'll come out of that, come to sit up. And we'll come into a half dragonfly. So having this wide V shape with your legs, you can bring them however far or wide apart that you want. And if I had a block with me right now, I would place the block right next to my left inner thigh so that I can put my head down onto it to rest. But if you don't have a block like me, you could always use a blanket or a bunch of pillows and just stack them up to the height that you need. And you're always welcome to stack more than one block or more than one pillow. And you can place it right in front of that thigh, the inner thigh. And we'll just rest our elbow down, leaning towards the left. Might take a little finagling. Maybe you want to put the block right on top of the thigh itself. It'll change the whole dynamic, but whichever feels like this is a place I can be for a little bit. And then that right arm can just stay where it is. You can drape it over your head, creating more of this opening on the right side. And it's a bit clunky. It's a little weird to be here, but we'll just stay with the physical body. Remember our roots. Remember the lightness of being. Suddenly, it becomes a little bit more manageable, a little less clunky over time. The longer we stay, the more opportunities we have to work with this shape, to become this shape, to breathe in this shape. Just a little bit longer here. And now we're gonna shift slightly. You can take your arm off your head and just place your materials somewhere on the top of your thigh, or you can remove them. But now we're gonna fold over that left leg. So it's less of a side stretch and more of just a regular half dragonfly. So turning the torso over that left leg and bringing the head towards your leg. Maybe you bring the cushion right up to meet you. And so it's kind of similar to the last one, but you can feel the difference in the side stretch, the right side of the body getting a little bit of a different pull. And again, it's kind of clunky, but we're getting the same kind of benefits even when it's like really weird to feel. While you're here, I've got a lovely Mary Oliver poem. Mary Oliver, the Earth poet. She's really good. This poem is called When I Am Among the Trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly, bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches. And they call again, "It's simple," they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, to shine. You can start to raise your torso back up, float on up, and then ask yourself here what your body needs. Any form of counter pose. Maybe you want to get close together and tight. Maybe you want to pendiculate and stretch out. Maybe you just want to be still for a moment. Yogi's choice. Cool. When you feel ready, we will take that trip on the other side. So we'll start with that little head and hand thing. So you can place your block or your blanket in front of that right thigh or on top of the right thigh. And just rest your head in your hand. And this could be really cool right here. This is where you hang out. Or you can bring your arm over your head, that left arm. Just feeling into that side body, peeling open, feeling the compression against the right side and on top of the head. Even as we breathe, we can imagine the earthy parts of our body, those little branches and trees that exist inside the lungs, all the little interconnected lines of energy. They all look like roots and branches. We have all of these living earthy parts inside of us all the time. It's really cool how our bodies reflect what's going on outside. Like, yeah, I see you, evolution. I see what's going on. So we can just imagine all the little tiny trees inside our lungs filling up with air, letting out the air, feeding the trees outside. This symbiotic relationship. It's really profound and beautiful the more you think about it. How one can't exist without the other, really. All the little rivers and streams inside of us. The ocean of our whole being. A little planet exists in all of us. Entire ecosystems are inhabiting our whole body and we don't even know it. So much life. What? So let's take that other half dragonfly stretch now. You can release your arm situation and we'll just fold over that right side now. Any amount that feels good. The block or blanket is just there to support you, but it's not necessary if it's adding some trouble. living, breathing. Just a little gratitude for existence, to be alive right now, to have an earth while we still do. Gratitude for the experience of feeling the sun, of being able to walk slowly and bow often, to smell the fresh lilacs. The forsythias are so bright and yellow here on the East Coast. It's a sight to see. The sounds of the birds singing their high, clear arias. Ah, what joy, what magnificence. We owe our whole life to this fantastic planet. I also found this Walt Whitman poem, which I'm not sure I understand it yet, but I'll read it. It's called Earth, My Likeness. Earth, my likeness, though you look so impassive, ample, and spheric there, I now suspect that it is not all. I now suspect there is something fierce in you, eligible to burst forth. For an athlete is enamored of me and I of him, but toward him there is something fierce and terrible in me, eligible to burst forth. I dare not tell it in words, not even in these songs. Not quite clear, but we are like the earth. Why don't we just fly on up, releasing this half dragonfly? And again, stopping, checking in. What does my body want here? What is it asking for from me specifically? Just a minute or so to move however you please, or to stay in stillness in whatever shape you prefer. Awesome. Let's set up for a saddle now. And we've got options for our saddle. You can use props. You can create a little place for your head to land, or you can create an entire sloping place for your whole back to have some support. And we'll try to do a full saddle. If it's not in your practice today, just extend one leg out. But we'll sit, you can sit on your heels like this and just come back. You're also welcome to sit in between your heels. It will be different. There's more sensation if you sit in between your heels, I think. But try it out for yourself, see what it is. And then you might have to stack a few things to bring the earth to meet you. You're more than welcome to just sit completely upright with both legs tucked under or one leg extended, or you can come back maybe onto your hands a little further if that's possible. Go slow, layer by layer, until you think, okay, here's good, nice and cozy. Getting that nice sensation on the top of the thighs. The spine is moving in a different direction than it was previously in the half dragonflies. So we're just noting these subtle shifts and shapes and how the energy emerges in our body. If you've chosen half saddle, I'll let you know when to switch, don't worry. This pose can also be clunky, but it's one of those poses that the more you do it, the more fun it gets, I think. Maybe that's just true for me, but you can try it out. Either way, we've got gratitude for this breath, for this precious life. What is it they say? The odds of being here is like having a little lifesaver buoy in the middle of the ocean, and the odds of a turtle poking its head through the middle of the buoy. They say that's like the odds of being alive and being able to choose a life. I don't really know what that is in percentages or statistics, but it sounds like the odds are pretty slim. So it's pretty freaking lucky that we're here, even if we have to struggle a lot. At least we get to experience the beauty and abundance of this earth. We have the opportunity to give back to her too. It's really something. You can switch legs now if you're in half saddle. Be careful if you do. Asking your body what it needs the entire time and trusting the wisdom of your own body. Feeling all the little sparkly, shiny parts of you, all the little tingles, ripples, bubbles, sticky stuck parts, all of it is welcome here. It's simply a part of being alive. just be here for a tiny bit more. Again, just trusting the wisdom of your body, imagining how you might execute transitioning from this pose to being flat on your back. Being mindful of the lower spine, the knees in particular, finding ways to adjust, to move very subtly, to take care of all the little creaky parts here. Moving with care. Replacing your props to the side. And come all the way flat onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Finding stillness here. And maybe you can guess what's coming. Maybe not, I don't know. But we're going to do a twisted roots twist. So let's cross our right knee over the left and bring that over to the left side. The arms can just come out to the sides. There's no force here. And if that leg crossed over isn't feeling right for you today, you can always just stack your knees. You can always, always, always put padding underneath any body part to bring the floor to meet you, or in between the knees to bring body parts closer together. But ideally, we're in a twist and we're feeling some good sensations here. Twisted roots. Spreading out the surfaces that are touching the ground. Let them feel like they can just move into the earth. Like the earth is soft. Like you're right on the grass. Or in some marshy area that's soft and full of moss or something. And I'm going to read another poem. This one I think is really, really fun. This one's called Learning the Trees by Howard Nemerov. Before you can learn the trees, you have to learn the language of the trees. That's done indoors, out of a book, which now you think of it is one of the transformations of a tree. The words themselves are a delight to learn. You might be in a foreign land of terms like samara, capsule, droop, legume, and palm, where bark is papery, plated, warty, or smooth. But best of all are the words that shape the leaves, orbicular, chordate, cleft, and reniform, and their venation, palmate, and parallel, and tips, acute, truncate, auriculate. Sufficiently provided, you may now go forth to the forests and the shady streets to see how the chaos of experience answers to catalog and category. Confusedly, the leaves of a single tree may differ among themselves more than they do from other species, so you have to find all blandly, says the book, an average leaf. Example, the catalpa in the book sprays out its leaves in whorls of 3 around the stem, the one in front of you, but rarely does or somewhat or almost. Maybe it's not a catalpa? Dreadful doubt. It may be weeks before you see an elm, fan-like in form, a spruce that pyramids, a sweet gum spring up in steeple shape. Still, peditemtim, as Lucretius says, little by little you start to learn, and learn as well maybe what language does and how it does it, cutting across the world. Not always the joints competing with experience while cooperating with experience and keeping an obstinate intransigence uncanny of its own. Think finally about the secret will pretending obedience to nature, but individuously distinguishing everywhere, dividing up the world to conquer it. And think also how funny knowledge is. You may succeed in learning many trees and calling off their names as you go by, but their comprehensive silence stays the same. What a mouthful, but really fun. Trees are fascinating. We'll stay here for a little bit less than a minute more before we switch to the other side. Coming back to a neutral spine, untwisting, uncrossing your right leg over your left. Finding any maneuvers or wiggles in between sides. And then to transition, just cross that left leg over the right and twist on over to the right side. Stacking, piling, patting. Sitting in the silence now. Bringing your awareness back to the root chakra, the Muladhara chakra, the base of the spine, the level of the perineum. Earth element. Solidity. Security. Earth. Tangible. The foundation for everything. Stable. Real. Interconnected. Getting ready to come out of the twist, but give yourself a beat first without rushing at all. And then moving consciously with attention to detail, feeling as much as possible as you move. Before we finish off our practice today, let's just have a good old time rolling on the floor. Oh my God. Everything feels so good when it's pressed up against the ground. And so just roll around, pendiculate, move where it feels good, stretch where it feels awesome. Scream a little bit. Feel the earthiness of your being. Feel the air element and the fire and the earth, of course. Water. Oh my gosh, there's so much water. So much fluid moving around in there. You can feel the tongue and the teeth. That's like a real tangible part of existence, the mouth. Just tapping into all of our features. Just feeling every little ounce of you. All the cells are going for a ride and they feel all their feelings. Don't forget the top of the head. Oh my goodness. It's so exciting to just feel and be alive, to be part of the earth, to be one of the few who get this opportunity. Really enjoying the movement while we can. Just about another minute or so, just moving freely, enjoying being alive with a body. So much it can do, so much it can taste and smell and hear. We started as just single-celled organisms, and now we can crawl and stand. We're bipedal humans. How did we get here? Marveling at the majestic mystery of being and feeling, experiencing, thinking. And when you feel sufficiently moved around, you can start to slow down and take the shape of your Savasana for today. On your back, on your belly, even on your side. Grabbing any little cushions or blankets to make you feel comfy. Turning off a light or opening a window to experience the daylight and the sounds and the smells of the earth. Or maybe whatever weather is happening. Letting it all go, giving it up to the earth, surrendering ourselves over for just a few minutes. Nothing to do, nothing to worry about, nothing to fix or find or even feel. Letting go. Coming back by bringing a tiny smile to your face. Just notice what this little facial expression does, what this small gesture will do to your whole body, lighting up the sensors in your brain. I say, this is what we do when we're happy, right? So we must be happy. Okay. Sending some happy signals of gratitude in this moment. And bring a tiny bit more movement back into the veins, into the cells, into the ligaments, into the tendons and the bones. Now the joints, everything's starting to move a little bit more. Big breath, moving the diaphragm up and down. Remarkable, marvelous being. And then give yourself a hug in fetal position or sitting upright and say thank you to yourself. Thanks for being here. Couldn't do it without you. And then we'll come up to sit to close. Wishing everybody a wonderful Earth Day, thanking the whole planet and all beings. May the merits of our practice be of benefit to all beings that reside on this planet and whatever else is out there in the universe. Thank you. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at peace. Closing with a bow. Thank you.